Hello, my name is James Sederberg, and I am a CPA and tax manager here at Elevation Tax. Many times we are asked about what kind of records are needed to support business deductions, and specifically what kinds of records are needed to support a business use of a personal automobile. So I want to address that question in this video. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to establish a general requirement that is listed within tax law and just kind of give some, I guess, some foundational understanding of what kind of the IRS is looking for when it comes to substantiation. So the law is this, again, this is for general substantiation requirement for specifically travel, entertainment, gift, and listed property expenses, which could be business auto use on a personal vehicle that you use for your business. And that is in Section 274 of the Internal Revenue Code, which is essentially just the tax law. So this is important, but no deduction is allowed unless these expenses can be substantiated by adequate records. So theoretically, if you claim a deduction on your tax return related to an auto expense, and for some reason you're audited and that line item is questioned and you cannot support it, the IRS can essentially make that zero and you're unable to claim it. So when it comes to that, then you'll have to pay additional tax back, and along with that, interest and penalties. So it's very important to make sure that you follow these substantiation guidelines so that in that case you'll be prepared. So some general types of substantiation that's required is the amount of the expense. When it relates to either travel, entertainment, you'll need to record the time and place. And if it's a gift related item, you need to have the date and description of that gift. You'll need to have the business purpose of the expense or the other item, and especially when it comes to travel or entertainment and a gift, you'll need to establish the business relationship. So now that we've gone over that, let's specifically address what is needed to support auto expenses. So you should maintain some sort of an account book, a diary, a log, a statement of expense, a trip sheet, or some other type of similar record to that. And in addition, you'll want to make sure you keep receipts for the automobiles, especially when it comes to all the fuel that you get, as well as the routine maintenance on the vehicle, such as like an oil change. And then the important thing is that these logs should be maintained or should be maintained right around the time of the expenditure or use of the vehicle. So basically record it when it's fresh in your mind, and just kind of perusing through the regulations, it seems like weekly is an acceptable amount of time. I wouldn't do more than that, but weekly is sufficient for it to be considered timely. So now I want to just go over some general guidelines, and these are actually direct quotes from the regulations, and I just want to quickly go through them. The first quote is, "Written evidence has considerably more probative value than oral evidence alone." Pretty self-explanatory. When things are written down, it holds more weight than just by what you say or just oral testimony, whatever it may be. So in addition, the probative value of written evidence is greater the closer in time it relates to the expenditure or use. So again, emphasizing that when it is written, if it's written closer to the time that the event actually happened, the more weight it holds, rather than written evidence that's recorded a month or two after the event happened. And finally, a contemporaneous log is not required, but a record of the elements of an expenditure or of a business use of listed property or business use of an automobile made at or near the time of the expenditure or use, supported by sufficient documentary evidence, has a high degree of credibility not present with respect to a statement prepared subsequent thereto, when generally there is a lack of accurate recall. Again, emphasizing, I know that's law speak right there, but basically what it's saying is the closer you record an item, the more weight it holds and the higher credibility that it has, because it's fresh in your mind. If it's recorded, a months down the road, it doesn't hold much weight, because the courts, at that point, the courts will say that you couldn't quite remember that as accurately as if you recorded it a day or two after the event happened. So that's important to remember. So when it comes to supporting a deduction, I tend to be overly conservative. The more records you have, the better. So this means it might be a little bit more intense, but this means that you record every business trip in some sort of log, and you keep receipts related to the vehicle. In the case of your miles, you want to do it on a per trip basis. That way it's saving you time, so you're not having to kind of sift through records on a weekly basis. You can just do it right then and there. And then it just makes it easier to record because you're in the moment doing it right there. But in the case of your miles, there are actually several apps that you can use that you can track each business trip. And many of these apps are either free or they only cost a couple of dollars. And it will make it very easy to record, and it takes a minimal amount of time to track those miles. So again, I'm overly conservative because if you are ever audited, you'll have everything that you need to support your claimed expenses, and you shouldn't have anything to worry about. And again, the more records that you have, the better off you will be. And again, it will show the auditor that you're very diligent in keeping track of those records. And you may, even if you kind of miss a thing or two, the agent may be a little bit more lenient in your case because you have kept such good records. If you have additional questions, click here to book your free no obligation consultation. Also, be sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter and subscribe to our YouTube channel for weekly updates. If you do have a tax question you would like us to answer, please leave it in the comment section below. Thank you.